Oh yeah, Cashapp. Oh yeah, Cashapp.
Couple things, people. Couple things. It has been a minute since I have live streamed. For why, you might be asking. It's really irrelevant. You understand. Couple of updates I wanted to provide. Obviously, we're a different place, different room. Let's do an update on the minimalist journey. Something we have to talk about. Why did I do it? So it was beyond necessary. You guys already know I was dealing with why am I paying all this rent for a place I'm almost never at? I I kind of like the new spot. A lot of differences that I had to adjust to. Obviously, going back to a smaller room, a smaller size, uh, living quarters. Sold a ton of stuff, just getting rid of the fluff and the excess. I feel more at peace with having less, with having essential items that are beyond necessary. So yeah, renting out a room in a house somewhere in Clovis, New Mexico, sipping on electrolytes. You feel me? Paying almost. So I cut my rent pretty much in half, as it relates to monthly expenses and just other things that were included. Um, I feel more comfortable. I feel more comfortable. I'm not a minimalist by any means, but I feel like the longer I live, just turned 29, I just don't need a ton of, like, you hear about the American dream, you hear about the things you're supposed to need and want, and aspire to, the big old house, 2-story house, white picket fence, 2 dogs and 2.5 kids and a wife, all those things. A lot of those things are necessary. A lot of those things. Um, but when it comes to just the extra fluff, like, why do I need a lawnmower? Shout out John Deere. Uh, why do I need just a ton of excess stuff? Just a garage full of stuff and 2 storage units, and it's too much. It's too much. So I'm glad to be downsized from, a full 1-bedroom apartment, which for some people you're like, that's perfect. That's all you need. And for me, it felt like it was just the only thing that kept me from staying in that spot was, like, I'm paying way too much money to get so little in return. Like, it was just diminishing returns. Um, so yeah, there's that. Speaking of diminished returns, uh, I spent my entire lunch, and of course, this Ask Me Anything. If you got any questions regarding Air Force or where I've been, whatever you want to know, ask away in the comments. Throw in a super chat if you would like. Speaking of diminishing returns, I spent my whole lunch watching the iPhone announcement, and it's just it's. I strongly considered switching to the iPhone. There's something called digital minimalism, and at first glance, it's beautiful. It's a beautiful concept. We have all the same brands, and we're gonna, they're all integrated. They have the ecosystem, the watch, the phone, the laptop, the iPad, and I have most of it. I have 99% of Apple products, with the exception of the phone. And I watched the release, an hour or some change, and I watched them proceed to release the same phone they released last year. I was like, bro, just look at the production that Apple presents to the market. You watch an amazing presentation as they present all these new products they've been working on for a whole year, and then you watch them release the iPhone 13 Pro Max, Mini, etc. And literally, I kid you not, it has the same specs that I currently have in my S20 Ultra from a year ago. They just got 120 hertz refresh rate. Ben had that. They added some cinema features. Looks interesting, but it's in 1080p 30. A lot of people are asleep on the cinematic, new feature it's in the video features. It's 1080p 30 frames a second limited. Who's excited for that? Like, I want to shoot 1080p on my iPhone and charge money for this. I'm not sure. I'm not sure that's it. What else? Still using Lightning port. Pass. You'd be surprised how much money you will personally have to spend because your iPhone has a Lightning port, not USB-C. All of my electronic products, all of them, from my headphones, my over-ear Sony headphones, to my MacBook Pro, to my iPad Pro, they all use USB-C. And then all of a sudden, I'm going to buy a new phone and have to buy a crap load of Lightning ports, or Lightning chargers rather, just to spread around the house and around my car, around my life, just so I can accommodate one device. It's too much. It's too much. Literally, my current phone, and trust me, I went to T-Mobile today. I even considered getting the 12 Pro Max. I was like, maybe I'll just get the older iPhone because, low key, I want the ecosystem, the complete ecosystem. I want that. But there's a part of me that just won't. I can't downgrade the device I use the most. I can't downgrade it. And even with a year-old device, it still blows the newest iPhone that just dropped today out the water. Out the water. Shoots 8K. There's nothing about the iPhone that inspires and brings up a certain level of childish energy that you just want to. There's nothing exciting about the iPhone. There's everything that's balanced and disciplined and proper about the iPhone. The iPhone works. It works. But when it comes to exciting devices, I don't even think about iPhones when I think about exciting devices. There's devices on the market that are Androids that have full frame sensors in them. Most of you probably don't even know what I'm talking about. Full frame sensor. The most important part of a camera is the sensor. There are Android devices that have full frame sensors in them. 35 millimeters. And the iPhone released what? No. So we'll be switching to iPhone anytime soon. I had great hopes for the iPhone 13. I thought USB-C would finally, at least they got refresh rate. They got 120 hertz refresh rate. Luckily, they got something. They got something that the Androids have been had for some years now, and they're gonna call it whatever they want to call it. ProMotion. It's our designed and well thought out and implementation of high refresh rate. Every other device has that. So there's that. I mean, what are you gonna do? Trillion dollar company does what they want. And something I always say is that iPhones were not designed nor marketed for the intellectual. Someone like myself who overthinks everything and who studies everything in depth, the iPhone was not designed for me. It was designed for the person that follows and it says, "Ooh, shiny, and they run after it because it's cool, and everyone else has it, and you're supposed to have this, so go get that." And then everybody, well, everybody else is doing it. I guess I must go do that. No. So yeah, the iPhone was not designed for a person like myself, who actually studies and reads and who has questions. But one day the iPhone might catch up. Speaking of catching up, and I feel like my segues are on point today. The Cannon R3 dropped today. And again, most of you guys don't care about any of this stuff, but I care about it. So I'm going to talk about it. The Cannon R3 dropped today. In a world of beautiful cameras, I will admit Canon makes some beautiful built-in, when it comes to battery grips, built-in battery grips. Beautiful. I personally shoot on an A6400. I only have two cameras to my name at this point, A6400 and an RX100 Mark V-A with the improved processor. I like Canon. I'm intrigued by Canon, but I'm a Sony shooter. I'm a Sony fanboy, if you will. I enjoy quality specs from my phone to my camera to my laptop to my microphone. I enjoy quality specs. You will not hand me a half-baked, last-second crippled, hammered, device and say, pay me $1,000 for this. No, it's not happening. The Canon R3, interesting, still paces behind the Sony A1, which is the best camera on the market currently, especially as it relates to hybrid cameras, shooting photo and video. For those of you who are interested in starting a YouTube channel, you don't need the best. I'm constantly trying to encourage people. It's why I'm back into this. First of all, I took a long break. Obviously, I've been missing it. Missing action as it relates to this channel. A lot of things happen in a short amount of time, and a lot of it's good. Shout out to her. I'm sure she's watching. Shout out Alicia. A lot of good things can happen in a short amount of time that just kind of distract you from all the other things that you thought mattered, and all of a sudden you just find what truly matters. And once you find that, you find balance, and now you realize there's still a void. There's still a void that I have to fill with YouTube or obviously work, and the gym, of course. But yeah, the Canon R3, pretty good specs. A1 50 megapixels versus the 24 on the Canon R3. I'm not going to get into all the specs. It's not a camera review channel, but I find those things intriguing just as it relates to new tech, to amazing companies such as Canon and Apple dropping their new devices today. Not for me, but it's interesting. Interesting day in tech and technology, what have you. Cross training. something I need to address. And again, if you have any questions, I will get to the chat. I promise. If you have any questions about anything, throw it in chat, and we'll talk. We'll be here for a while. So, cross training. I presented my AFSC choices. What was it? Yesterday or the day before? There was a huge issue going on with my purse, and I had to submit a manual request. But it came back with my eligibility being approved for 2 FSCs, one being in-flight refueler, and the other being flight attendant. And then, of course, I think I have like 3 other jobs that I'm going to go for like backups, because I'm pretty sure I'm not going to get the 2 jobs, as it relates to flying FSCs. So I might be looking at mental health technician. What was the other one? Religious affairs. And I think another one was safety, which I actually shadowed when I was at Andrews Air Force Base. I was able to shadow safety and watch them do an inspection. And, a person like myself who's neurotic in most cases, it would benefit me to, do as Monk would do and analyze the deficiencies and what have you. So yeah, submitted my stuff the other day. Got a response from my purse today. And so I started routing paperwork and getting documents processed. Got my medical clearance. Got my Air Force 422 already, but I think I need to do a different one because I was doing past chase, which I need to update on that as well. It sucks when you don't live stream consistently and you miss like a week and some change, that everything comes out at once and you have to talk about everything. And you try to be organized with it. As I started out, I try to be organized, and then everything just spills out because things start coming to mind. I had no plans coming into this. I literally started taking some notes during the countdown. So, pals chasing. It's on the back burner right now. I'm not completely saying no to it, but one thing I've realized, and something everyone has to realize, is that some things don't go away. The guard's not going away. The guard will always be an option for a while. Obviously, nothing's permanent, but I still have that option. Once I leave active duty, I can go to the guard. So it's on the back burner right now. Cross training has been moved to the front as far as something I know I need to do. That's not going to the guard. It's just I need to switch my job. Finance is okay. It's all right. Yeah, but it's time for something else. So yeah, palace chasing has been moved to the back burner. Shout out to my commander, my leadership, who've been working with me and being patient with me as far as communicating. A lot of you guys know since Alaska, I've been dealing with anxiety, and it's come out of nowhere. In terms of the last 2 years or so. Something I have no clue where it came from. It just appeared, and now it's my problem. Now it's something I have to deal with on a daily basis. I'm back on carnivore again. When I tell y'all, when it comes to anxiety, the number one resource to me that I've kind of dove headfirst into, and I tried to account for every single variable as far as placebo, as far as checking boxes when it comes to electrolytes and eating enough and calorie intake and what have you. Carnivore has been the number one resource to me with dealing with anxiety. It's absolutely amazing. I feel more calm. I feel way more calm outside of this very moment where I feel off just because I've been live streaming forever, but that will quickly wear off when I start getting excited about questions. But yeah, interesting things taking place as of late. I believe I'm probably in the first week of carnivore, 4 or 5 days or so, and you immediately start seeing effects. I promise you. The calm that takes place, your body just begins to transition from glucose to ketones. And I'm telling you, you feel it. I sleep so much better on carnivore. So, let's look at the chat. See who's in here. Appreciate y'all rocking with your boy. I know I've been out of pocket for a minute. Got Mercedes up in here. I see you. Mercedes has a question. What do you think about the military raising the retirement age up to 25 years for a pension instead of 20? I didn't know that was a thing. Maybe I'm just last to find out stuff that's not pertaining to the military. I did not know that was a thing. Interesting. I mean, 5 years is not a lot to those who want to do 20. What's additional 5? Most people want to do 25 anyway. Outside of the people that are just trying to make it to that deadline, that finish line. 5 years really not a lot. So I mean, I don't know. I have to do some more research on that. Did not know that was a thing. What else we got? Paul, have you ever taken the USAF PAST test? I'm not sure what that is. Comment what that is, man. I'm not sure what that is. I saw this comment when you first posted it. Brad, what you mean you can't be a millionaire in the military? I'm not sure what video. I have to go back and see what video you're referring to. I might remember the context, but you can become a millionaire in the military. I might have misspoke. Not in the way that a lot of people think. So if you're coming in the most general sense, in the most traditional sense, and if you're coming in enlisted, the only way, and mind you, there might be a thousand ways to skin a cat, but in terms of what access is available to everyone, the only way you're probably going to reach $1 million status in terms of assets, in terms of the value of your portfolio, is going to be investing. I'm sure a lot of people that are currently enlisted or previously enlisted hit big on GameStop or Bitcoin or one of those quick movements. That they're, I'm sure a lot of people are waiting for AMC to squeeze so that they can just get out the military tomorrow. That could happen. That could very much happen. For the majority of the population, if you're going to reach millionaire status, it's because you invested wisely and consistently over time. You max out your Roth IRA, your TSP. You might have had some investments on the side. You can become a millionaire in terms of having $1 million of value, but liquid, I don't know. It's not for me to say. It's not for me to say you can't, because there's a lot of legal ways to make money in this world. But in terms of just getting a paycheck every 2 weeks, no. You must invest. You must have a side gig such as YouTube or a podcast or maybe a side company, a small business, large business. Who knows? You might be a personal trainer on the side. You might have a large following on the internet that you can leverage. There are many ways to make money. So I'm the last person to say you can't be a millionaire. You can't make a certain amount of money from a military standpoint, because there's plenty of YouTubers, plenty of examples of people who have done it. But in a lot of cases, and when it comes to probability of the average person who's serving enlisted, and mind you, enlisted, no. The officer side, obviously you're making way more money, so your investments might be a lot different. Your opportunities based on what comes your way, based on the conversations you have, you might be in different environments, such as a golf course, people that you're interacting with. You might have different opportunities that come past you. That might be a different case. I know a lot of YouTubers who are formerly officers who have launched their own personal business, have gotten out of the military, and are millionaires. So there are many ways to leverage where you currently are to get where you want. That's currently what I'm doing. So I'm the last person to say you can't be a millionaire, because I would be shoot myself in the foot. So, yeah, I'll have to address the video that you're referencing. But yeah, I definitely agree. You can become a millionaire in the military. My boy Nell was good, man. Yeah, I've been out of pocket for a minute. That's facts. Machiavelli, what is your favorite thing about your career? What is the favorite thing about my career? So, August marked 5 years in the Air Force. 5 years. My deployment was definitely one of the best experiences of my life. The privilege of living in a different country, it's unmatched. It's unmatched, especially due to the context of I'm not paying for anything. Being in regions that organically I'm not supposed to be in, those environments are sacred to me. Also, just meeting people in those environments, such as a deployed environment where you have people from all over the Air Force, and you have to interact with these people and network. It's amazing. It's dope. I'm still friends with a lot of those people I was deployed with to this day, especially people that I was stationed in the same region, like stationed in DMV in the DC area. And you don't know any of these people, but you realize y'all coming from the same area. You're still cool with these people. So that was dope. My deployment was definitely the best part of, so at least as it relates to experiences, there's a lot of small little wins that you have throughout your 5-year career that I've had so far. But as it relates to just dynamic events, definitely my first deployment, and we'll see what happens in the future. Hopefully, it's only up from here. Hopefully, we can at least stay level. For some people, staying level and just staying consistent is an achievement. I would also agree that in my life, I kind of value stability, but I've come to appreciate the events that kind of add a little turbulence to your life. So we'll see where we go from there. Also, Machiavelli, another good question actually. Machiavelli, what is your biggest complaint about your job? So for those of you who don't know, I work in finance. And I'm currently in budget. The month of September is our busiest month. We are closing out the Air Force budget. What does that mean? We have to spend all the money without going over. Most of you guys, if you have checking accounts, which most of you should, you've heard of overdraft protection, where you have a certain amount of money from your check, and if you go over, they're going to cover it, but you're going to have to pay this $20 fee, but we got you. Well, Air Force doesn't have that. The DoD doesn't have that. If we obligate more than the money that we were appropriated by Congress, ADA violation. People take L's. So the goal of September is what FMA is dealing with, is spending all the money, at least obligating all the money, which again, I don't want to get into terminology, but we're obligating all the money before October 1st. And so it's not difficult in theory, but in application, there's a lot of moving parts. A lot of big purchases that are taking place, a lot of small purchases that are taking place, but a lot of people involved. And if you think about the communication chains that are required to make certain things work properly, you can see how it takes a whole year to spend money. And there's rules associated with it. You can't just go swipe a card for anything. That card has a specific purpose. There's lines of accounting that you have to obey and stand by. There's ceilings, there's fences, there's floors. And so all these different rules come in all at once, especially, and they culminate in September, which we're currently in. So weekends will be worked, long days at work. This is my second budget closeout. My first one was in Alaska, obviously, when I was an RA. RAs are a little further from the fire, but they're still part of it. They're the representative of FMA budget in various units. Every unit has an RA. So to your question, my biggest complaint about my job, I would say the biggest complaint of my job was on the other side of the house. When I wasn't in budget, I was in customer service. Customer service deals with everything related to the military pay member, or the military members' pay, and how they get paid, whether or not they're getting paid properly. Any issues with their pay, that's the job of customer service. You guys come in and I want to get my travel voucher. I'm going TDY. I have an issue with my DTA. You're supposed to go to your ODTA, but a lot of times they just come straight to finance. Pay entitlements, things like that. Dealt with that. My biggest issue with finance was that side of the house, dealing with customers. I'm not a customer person, and especially in a context where every customer you encounter is angry. It's nothing to work at Walmart and the customers you're encountering, they're happy. Or Target, people are happy to be there. TJ Maxx, people love TJ Maxx. So when it comes to like a customer service environment such as Air Force Finance, and everyone hates you because they think you don't work. They think you go home at 12 noon. We file all y'all's dusty documents, bruh. So everyone hates finance. All these different tropes and the stereotypes that brings joy and tears to my eyes when I hear them. I hated that about finance. For those of you who joining finance, who are coming to finance, it's not all that bad. Trust me, it's not all that bad. There are benefits to customer service that I took advantage of, such as networking. Everyone that comes to your base, depending on the rules of engagement, they're going to have to come through finance. You have to in process. And so through that, I'm able to meet a ton of people. And based on my willingness to extend and to solve problems properly, I get to network. They had to come through me. I'm able to get context. Where do you work? Tell me about your job. Inform me of the details. What do you hate about your job? I'm able to find out things that ordinarily in certain positions, such as budget, you don't have a lot of traffic. And so in the customer service arena, you're able to find out information and network and meet people that would not normally occur. So yeah, finance is not all bad. It translates to the civilian world, in most cases working for the federal government. You're not doing my current position being a budget analyst and then go to the civilian world and work for Google as a budget analyst. It's two different animals. You may be great with Excel here, but they might be doing might be using a whole different program. So it's different. It's different, but there are benefits to finance. So if you have finance as an AFSC, don't listen to people like me who are disgruntled and who spent most of their career, about 3 or 4 years in customer service, who's grown to resent it and the people thereof. It's not all bad. It's not all bad. What else we got? What is the cutoff age for joining the Air Force? I believe it's 39, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, I believe it's 39. Good question. And be trying, bruh. They'll be asking all these good questions. So the gym that I've been posting, which I did not speak the name because I don't want people going there. It's called Verdure. It's in Amarillo, Texas. It's 2 hours away from where I live. And when I tell you it's worth the 2-hour drive, I can hear the questions. Why the hell would you drive 2 hours to work out at a different gym when you have a free gym membership on base? Also, I have a Planet Fitness membership. And when I tell you luxury is necessary, quality is necessary, when I tell you I'm willing to drive 2 hours for quality, for luxury, that's why I go. If you've seen any of the stories that I post concerning Verdure in Amarillo, Texas, it's beautiful. It's gorgeous. Think of a Four Seasons or a Madison or, the Fontainebleau in Miami. Mix that with Lifetime Fitness, Equinox. Just quality environments colliding. Free towels and lotion and shaving cream and razors and it's perfect. It's perfect. Steam room, sauna, waiting pools, the outside pools are like amusement parks. They have a kitchen where they meal prep and there's smoothies and protein shakes and there's a gun range in this gym. You understand? There's a gun range in this gym. There's an indoor what's it called? Golf swing simulator, spin class, full size basketball court. There's a boxing ring in there. Like it's just, it's quality environment. When I tell you, people said let's build a gym that people are gonna enjoy for more than 30 minutes. Like people go to Planet Fitness to only eat Tootsie Rolls. When I go to my gym, I go in there to bask in the ambiance, to bask in the environment that was designed for thought, for physical expression, such as moving weights up and down, against the force of gravity. So yeah, the gym is Verdure. It's very expensive, but it's worth it. Trust me, it's worth it. One of my favorite discoveries in this region of the country. One of the best kept secrets of Cannon Air Force Base. If you're stationed here, it's within reach. Again, nobody wants to drive 2 hours, but I do, definitely. So yeah, dope gym. I'll probably be doing a vlog. I'll probably do like a little tour of it, but dope environment. Damn this chat. How everybody doing, bruh? It's been a minute. Armando asks, what about Sear? Sear's been on my mind. And when I tell you I can't do it, it's the truth. I cannot participate with Sear for several reasons. I think I read somewhere, I think it was on the AFCED, whatever it's called. But it's basically a document that explains each AFSC in the Air Force. It breaks it down to the smallest variables. And I believe I saw somewhere in there that you have to swim or know how to swim or tread water, and immediately disqualified it. I'm too busy, you understand? I am too busy to tolerate water of any state, be it ice, snow, sleet, liquid. I'm too busy, you understand? So I believe I crossed it off for that reason. I might be wrong. I might be mixing it with something else, but I'm pretty. Or was it EOD? Either way, Sears been off the list for a minute, and I don't remember why, but I just knew it it was off the consideration list. Sears was interesting as it relates to just survival, but if you guys know me well enough, if you've been watching any amount of time, you know I don't do nature like that. Just came from Alaska. I don't do nature like that. I'm too busy to deal with the elements. Killing rabbits for sustenance, it's beyond my willpower. You understand? There's no time for that. I prefer my food delivered like DoorDash, like my steaks. Speaking of steak, I went on a date. What was it, Sunday, with my beautiful woman. I discovered fajita steak. You don't decide what you like; you discover it. You don't decide what you like. You don't decide your preferences. You discover them. Fajita steak is by far, and I kid you not, I've had Wagyu beef steak. And when I tell you this fajita steak is the best steak I've ever had in my life. I ain't messing no buttons. Best steak I ever had in my life. Hands down. I believe it was at Abuelo's in Amarillo, Texas. I found a lot of great things at Amarillo, Texas. A lot of great people in Amarillo, Texas, that are life changing. So yeah, great question. Sear is a no go, but we're still studying. We're still kind of looking around, but AFSCs are quickly dropping off in terms of how I want to live my life. I don't particularly want to be in the bowels of a ship. I don't want to be stuck on a plane. I want planes that land. So I don't really want to be doing like target analysts or like, there's tons of jobs that get me what I want in terms of travel and being airborne. But some planes don't land for a specific reason. Working on E2, it's not meant to come down. You understand? So it's just about reading the fine print before you sign up for something. Ammo's a no-go. Here's the thing about the cross-train process I'm in. One of the biggest variables I'm measuring when it comes to do I want to cross-train into this job is this job mission essential? If you've been in the Air Force long enough, you're going to understand what mission essential means when it comes to snow days, when it comes to holidays, any event that will cause someone to be off of work or out the office or off base. The people that are still at work and still reporting to the flight line and still have a job to do, and they can't just say, "Oh, wait, the weather's too bad. We can't come." There are people that still have to work. Those are called mission essential. I will not be signing up for anything that is mission essential unless I benefit. And that, of course, that would be like aircraft, in-flight refueler, flight attendant. Probably, depending on what position I get, if I do get a mental health position in the med group, that could be considered mission essential just because it's part of the med group. Who knows? But I'm trying to avoid it as best I can. I'm trying to avoid mission essential because I like holidays. Security forces, they have to work. They have to work. I'm sorry. Somebody got to guard the gate. I know it's Veterans Day, but somebody got to guard this gate, bro. Who gonna scan the IDs? So, yeah, from all my career, I've not been in mission essential finance. We will close our doors so quick. I promise you. Let something pop off and they say, "Everybody go home." Pull my cat card. I'm out. But there are some positions in the Air Force where they say, "Everybody but y'all go home." And that's the last position you want to be in, unless you have a true calling or reason, of being in that environment. So yeah, ammo's out because it's attached to aircraft, and yeah, no, I don't want to be on the ground watching aircraft take off, but I still got to work, 12s or what have you. So yeah, we won't be doing that. I've heard good things about ammo, but I'm too busy. But we'll see. Nothing is completely off the list, just in terms of you don't really know what you'll do until you. I mean, trust me, ammo's off the list, but it has crossed my mind in terms of working with aircraft, working on flight line. I do enjoy working with my hands, as opposed to working with people. But yeah, nah. I'd rather not be attached to aircraft and be working on the ground while it takes off. So we'll see. Good question. Ever tried meditating or any of those calming apps for anxiety? Yes. So meditation, there's many definitions. The one I use would be simply to applying focus to one thing at a time. There's many ways to meditate. Obviously, most people might just think of the monk living in the mountains, eating a bowl of diet water, sitting, in fetal position, humming to himself. It's a bit much. It's a bit much for me. I'm a little too busy for that in the mornings. But when it comes to simply taking some time to listen to nothing, to listening to binaural beats, to putting on noise canceling headphones and going for a walk, the ability to focus on one thing at a time is a luxury. Going to the movies, believe it or not, for me is so peaceful because I turn my phone off, and for a span of about 2 hours, 2.5 hours, 3 hours, depending on the movie, I'm just focused on one thing. Assuming I'm alone, just focus on the movie. That's it. I'm watching this movie. My phone's not going off. I'm just eating my candy and I'm watching a movie, start to finish. It's therapeutic. So I'm a huge advocate of allowing your mind to focus on one thing at a time. We live in an age of distractions where everything is important now. Everything's on fire. Well, I have to pay attention to the notification coming in. I have to do all these things. I have to have music playing at all times. I have to be watching TV and I'm working on. It's too much. It's too much. Just because your mind's capable of it does not mean that you should be engaging with it consistently. So another app I use is Headspace. I believe Tim Ferriss put me onto it, and it's just guided meditation. Guided meditation where if you want to wake up and the first thing I just received a birthday present of Alexa. Shout out to Alicia, and shit, it's about to talk. All right, never mind. And yeah, Headspace. You're able to just listen to guided meditation, and they tell you control your breathing and think about your day and think about the things you want to accomplish and is your life really that bad? And it just kind of walks you through a thought process, and you breathe while listening and kind of guiding your thoughts before you plan your day or during your day or after your day. So yeah, meditation is simply put focus. It's just focus. Be mindful, present, if you will. Good question. Osborne asks, what is there to do at Cannon? I'm relatively new to the Air Force and it will be my first duty station. Very good question with a disappointing answer to go along with it. You better be good at making friends. The most entertaining thing to do at Cannon Air Force Base is, and don't take this the wrong way, but people. People are what you do at Cannon Air Force Base, and not in the sense that all y'all immature people are thinking about. You can go to any town in America or around the world, but if you're with the right person, it could be a major city or it could be a dusty town. You're gonna enjoy yourself. You're gonna have fun. I discovered that at Clear. I lived in DC where I had everything to do. Anything you could think of was in the DMV area. I was 4 hours from New York City, 2 hours from Philly. I lived in DC. I worked at the Pentagon, worked at Andrews Air Force Base. I had all the entertainment I wanted. When you leave that environment, you go to Clear, Alaska, and the nearest gas station is 30 minutes away. You realize I need to invest in people and relationships, or I'm going to drown very quickly. Cannon Air Force Base is another one of those examples of if you don't invest in people and relationships, you're going to drown very quickly. Physically, there's not much to do. Capitalism has not made it to this region of the country yet. It's dry. It's quiet. It's the Southwest. Stuff closes at like 5 and 6. The only 24-hour gym here is the one on base and Planet Fitness. And I think there might be a Crunch in Portales, but that town's dustier than Clovis. You have to drive. The gym, I have 2 gym memberships, Planet Fitness and Verdure in Amarillo, Texas. I drive 2 hours for a quality establishment. It's worth it. But not everyone wants to do that. But the point being is that you're not going to come to Cannon Air Force Base and see excitement and see luxury. And you're going to find a quiet military town where the people that live here for a specific reason, because they probably enjoy it. They enjoy the peace, the seclusion. It's not loud. There's not jets at this base, so it's not a loud community to live in on or off base. There's a nice community center on base for if you're inclined, but yeah, it's quiet here. The things you hear about Cannon as far as there's nothing to do, it's probably true. How do people survive? People. You can make amazing relationships here, mainly because that's all there is. That there's no other options. That you invest in people. So yeah, come here with a positive attitude. You're gonna get ridiculed every time somebody asks you, "Oh, I heard you got orders. Where you going?" Cannon. And everyone's gonna be like, "Ooh." So what? Once you get here, you realize it's not that bad. Now, obviously, I have perspective. I've been stationed in DC. I've seen Clear Air Force Station. Trust me, you go to Clear Air Force Station for a year, and then you come to Cannon Air Force Base, you realize Cannon's not that bad, because there are worse places to be stationed. Trust me on that. But yeah, there's not a ton to do. There's a movie theater. There's a mall. Any restaurant you want is here. So you get on that front. There are plenty of restaurants to choose from. Mexican, Italian. There's Buffalo Wild Wings. There's Chipotle. What else they got? Applebee's, Chili's, McDonald's, obviously. A ton of dope donut spots that just bless you in the morning. Trust me, I go in there and just run up a check. Like, bro, give me a dozen and do it quickly. You understand? I run out there and break bread in the car. Yeah, you have options here in terms of food, but in terms of stores, there's one bar. I'm not a huge fan of bars, but I do like having the option. So there's one bar. The nearest city, in quotes again, would be Lubbock, Texas, which is a little bit more upbeat, a little bit more modern, has a college there. Then, of course, Amarillo is 2 hours away. Albuquerque's, I think, 3 hours away. So you have options in terms of driving. You can catch a flight out of here, $40 one way to Denver. You have options. And that's the part that you really have to pay attention to, is that it's not like you're stationed in Clear, Alaska during COVID and you can't leave the state. Clear, Alaska, I'm telling you, it's a different animal. When people think about Cannon Air Force Base and they just immediately cringe and think about, woe is me, there's nothing there. One trip to Clear, Alaska, Space Force, space station, whatever you want to call it, you spend 1 week there and you hear how truly quiet it is, how there's no flight line. You might hear a helicopter depending on if a DV is visiting, but I'm telling you, it's truly quiet. You get out the car, turn the car off, and you realize, I don't hear anything. There's no sound here. And you slowly start descending into chaos. You feel your consciousness leaving you. Your sentience has negotiated a path of resistance. And then you go to Canada and you realize, at least I got a Chipotle. Did you know there's no Chipotle in the state of Alaska? There's no Chick-fil-A in the state of Alaska. I'm not sure that's even legal. You could have Cannon and you got Chipotle 5 miles away. Chick-fil-A's 80 miles away. You realize life is not that bad. Yeah, life is not that bad. So yeah, come to Canada with a positive mindset. Trust me, it can be a horrible place if you come here with all the negative energy, because it will match you. Trust me. But there's plenty to do. Meet people. Spend time drinking if you need to. But meet people. Drink responsibly, by the way. Drink responsibly. But yeah, it's really not that bad here. It's really not that bad. Here's a question. Hiram, faithful member of the channel. Shout out Hiram. Do you think TikTok is a video sharing version of Reddit where people destroy themselves by a whole host of bad behavior and bragging about doing things that can get them in trouble? I do. He goes on. A lot of current military members, including commissioned officers, are their own worst enemy, and TikTok is Satan's helper. I don't blame TikTok. I blame people's addiction to attention, which currently TikTok is the hot thing. You know, it has the algorithm, it has all the trending topics, everything that's forbidden that nobody wants to talk about, but you want to talk about, and all the secret whisperings or the yellings, and this is my platform, it's my soapbox. I'm gonna yell from the high rooftops, you know, about this given topic, and you might get 100,000 views in 10 minutes. You might go viral ASAP. People are addicted to attention. The last thing you can do is blame the platform that just facilitated it. Hey, we'll give you this. You do this right here. People will do almost anything for attention, especially when it's been exchanged as currency at this frequency. It's been passed around. I got 33 people watching me. For what? For what? Think about me having 33 people watching me right now, but I could possibly post the right words on TikTok and have 1 million people watching me. Most people are willing to take the risk. Most people are willing to take the risk by trying to gain everything, and they will lose everything. You can't. That's not how that works. In order to gain everything, you have to be willing to lose everything, and that's the exchange rate. Everything for everything. In order to get the virality, if you will, you need the tattoo on the face. I'm sorry. You need the tattoo on the face to make it work. TikTok is not to blame. I'm not a huge fan of it. When I think about myself aging, I think about TikTok, and I'm thinking about how it doesn't interest me. It's, first of all, short form videos. They have their place. You guys see a lot of, on this channel, you see 2-minute videos, 3-minute videos, 5-minute videos, 20-minute videos. This one's 52 minutes long so far. You'll see a wide range of length in terms of videos, because I make the videos that I want to watch. I make the videos that I want to watch. I like short form content. I like long form content. I like playlists that are organized. I can just go through. I want to learn about the Air Force. I have Air Force library. If I want to learn about philosophy, I have a philosophy playlist. If I just want short clips of various topics, I have a short list of short clips playlist. I have a vlogs playlist. So with that, you realize people are not just one track minded in terms of they just have a short attention span, or they only want long form podcast form, type content. People are variable. People are nuanced, dynamic in certain moments. So I make content for all of them. But a platform that only facilitates short form content is doable. I don't want to be in that environment like that. I'd rather do videos for Instagram. But then how do you get monetized? I guess I'm just on YouTube then. So TikTok's not bad. Obviously, you do see a lot of people that they can't think far enough ahead to realize, if I do this, if I say this, if I make this video, if I press send, if I press post, what happens next? And most people can't think that far ahead. That's what wisdom is. It's the ability to say, all right, I'm about to do this. I think this is going to happen, so I ain't going to do that. That requires a little bit of maturity, patience, the ability to overthink. I was just talking to a friend. I was telling my girl, Alicia, the ability to overthink is a luxury. People always equate, overthinking with just being anxious, neurotic. You're doing too much. Why are you overthinking it? It's simple. The ability to overthink is a luxury. It's not afforded to everyone. This channel is built off my ability to overthink everything. I make money from this channel. I get paid to overthink. Why? Because other people can't overthink. You ask them a question and they just, I don't know. You ask me a question, I'm gonna, and my energy rises. I enjoy a quality question that really doesn't have an answer, but you get to dive into it and peel the layers back. Some people don't have that luxury. So it's just about understanding context, timing, wisdom. Should I say this? Is it necessary? I may be right, but is it necessary? Is it required? Is there a reward for me doing this? Some people start battles and they start engaging on topics or people or persons, and there's no reward. There's no point. There is no point to engage in all this if the only result is, all right, I might go viral, and then the only person that sees it is your commander. What was the point? So when I make content, even while live streaming and speaking in the moment, I still have to think in real time. And luckily, I just have a lot of practice with it. But you start realizing I can't say everything. Even things that it might be true, things that are true, things that are based in fact, I still can't say everything. I don't have freedom. I have liberty. There are rules. There's a fence. There's a ceiling. There's a floor. The second you test those boundaries, you realize there's leverage. There's standards, and relative to enforcement determines whether or not you want to repeat something. So I don't blame TikTok. I don't blame YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. They're just platforms, and people decide to hang themselves. Regret teaches what wisdom could not. That's where a lot of people find themselves. So it's unfortunate. I don't like to see people, in their own careers because they wanted to have some attention. The point of YouTube is to get attention. I'm not doing this to talk to myself. Well, technically, I am talking to myself. You get the point. You get the point. Some people will do anything within their power to try to get a reaction. And then when they get a reaction, it was the wrong reaction that they anticipated. So, yeah, it's not TikTok's fault. Can't blame software. And, it's different. What else we got? Kyle asks, can you make a video with advice for new young staff making it after testing the first time, preparing to so on and get troops? If there was anything I was qualified to talk about, this will be it. This has been my life for the last 2-3 months. Made staff last year, pinned on last year, May of 2020. I put on staff. Didn't get any troops until I came to Cannon, and it's been different. It has been bad, has been good per se. It's just been different. It's been turbulent. I've had to adjust. I'm telling you, it's a weird dynamic to have grown adults that you have to kind of clean up after and remind and send reminders and emails, and you're responsible for their effort. And then when something goes wrong, it's your fault. But when something goes well, it's their fault. It's a weird dynamic between a supervisor and a troop because you have to trust each other like brother and sister or parent and child. It's different. And there is an adjustment period. Trust me, I'm still in it. After 3 months, I'm still in the transition period of trying to learn how to be a supervisor. What are the limits? How do I enforce certain things? How do I make them try harder? How do I see their potential and help them reach that potential while reaching my own potential? Which is honestly the job of my supervisor. But that doesn't happen. What if I'm tired that day? There's so many variables that you have to now relearn because you've been a follower up to this point, and now all of a sudden you have to follow and lead. It's different. I'll probably expand on this in a future video or a future live stream. But yeah, you will have to ask a lot of questions. I'll definitely try to provide more content on here as far as my experiences so far. Progressive discipline is a big one. You can only say, stop doing that so many times. That only works so many times. You can only repeat yourself so many times before people see you as a joke. And it happens very quickly. Trust me, I'm a person who talks a lot. Been talking for an hour now. I talk a lot. I like to explain things. I like to teach. But at some point, you have to realize the stick is what you need. You kill a hostage, everyone listens. If you explain, Mr. Negotiator, I want my bus, please. And they say, we're not bringing you a bus. We're going to bring you some pizzas so we can talk about this. And you say, you'll notice that bus comes a lot quicker. That's basically what a supervisor is. The issue is, and it's something I can't remember who said, I think it was Sun Tzu or Confucius, one of them. They spoke to, you should not discipline a troop before they're loyal. If there was anything I taught you at all, to answer your question, if there's one takeaway from this, do not discipline your airmen before they are loyal to you. How do you do that? How do you make someone loyal to you just met? Number one, you take an interest in them. You learn them. You ask them questions. You discover who they are, who their family is, what their middle name is, what their last name is, what their first name is, when their birthday is, what is their favorite food, what do they drink when they're off work, what's their favorite music, what is the one thing they love talking about, what is their fear, what is their ambitions in the military, why are they in the military, where are they from, what state are they from. Taking an interest in their airmen and being approachable, I'm telling you, if you master those two things alone, the loyalty becomes automatic. Giving is how you get. In a human dynamic, giving is how you get back. If you go into a position, especially as a brand new supervisor, brand new stripes on your chest, and you start barking, the one time you mess up, they're not going to defend you. They're going to indict you. They're going to report you. They're going to help you to the fire. They're going to escort you to the ovens. But if you take an interest in them and you develop that rapport, you build that relationship, you invest effort into this relationship, you realize you have not only a lifelong relationship in terms of exchange of value, but you might even develop friends with people that are below you. And I think that's how it's supposed to work. But you have a lot of people attempting to lead with fear. It does not work. Long term, that is. It may work temporarily. You'll get compliance. You will get compliance in the short term, but long term, people will be waiting for you to slip up. And when you do, they will be there with the pitchforks. So yeah, best advice I can give you, do not discipline your airmen before they're loyal. Take an approach, and give effort to actually getting to know them, asking questions. Take them to lunch. Questions. My first feedback with my airmen was questions. Who are you? Where are you from? Why are you here? Tell them about yourself. I didn't go over no deep expectations. All right, so there's this term, there's concept. I got documentation. I emailed. No, I asked them about who the human is inside the uniform. I'm not saying that I'm a perfect supervisor, because trust me, I've had a turbulent 3 months. Turbulent. I'm not sure there's a right way of supervising, but I know how to interact with humans. Newly found ways of interacting with humans I've discovered as of late. So yeah, that's my best advice for now, is be approachable. Be approachable. There's some days where you'll be exhausted. You're tired. You're asking yourself, why am I doing any of this? Why do I have to keep repeating myself? Why do I have to keep cleaning up someone else's mess? You will ask yourself these questions, and there won't be an answer. And in those moments where you're tired and you see your airman coming over, you're like, what do they want now, bro? And in that moment, you want to be short. You want to just ignore them. Yo, what's good? You flip it. You have to. Why? Because they're the next supervisor, and you want your supervisor to do the same thing for you. You want your supervisor, when they're having a bad day, to give you some time when you need it. So yeah, effort. Effort is probably the one word that defines everything else. But wisdom and effort. Those two words alone will take you far. We'll talk more on that. More on that later. Active duty or reserves? I'm not sure. I've only been active duty. I'm not sure exactly what the reserves do. I just know they fall under the president as opposed to the governor. It's different. Yeah, I'm sure a quick Google search can provide more insight on that. Investor Chic asks, how are the dining halls in the Air Force? Are they as good as people say they are? When I tell y'all, I've discovered more delicacies in Air Force dining facilities than anywhere else in my life. It's absolutely ridiculous. The best onion rings I've ever had were in an Air Force dining facility. The best pizza, top 5 pizza I've ever had, was in an Air Force gas station. I'm telling you, the foods that exist that you don't know about, I almost have to blame you for not knowing. You understand? Keesler, top 3 DFAC in the DOD. Who cares what the Marines got? Keesler is quality. You understand? Lackland, people sleep on. Basic training, we ate good down there. I know like a lot of y'all going through COVID basic training, so y'all might be eating sandwiches handmade by somebody who ain't washed their hands. We broke bread at Lackland. Trust me on that. So yeah, dining facilities are quality. Depends on where you're at. You might encounter some defects that are under construction, and they food is under construction too, and it's just dusty. Cannon here, the food's not bad. It's not bad at all. You typically judge an Air Force defect by their grilled chicken. You understand? The grilled chicken tells all. When I was deployed, the grilled chicken was like cardboard. I was offended. Like every time I took a bite, I was like, "Bro, y'all did this on purpose? This chicken been sitting in water? Y'all did this?" No, no. The grilled chicken tells all because it's hard to mess up grilled chicken, but you realize how are all these defects messing up grilled chicken? All you gotta do is put it on the grill. You don't gotta season it. I do that. I got you on the seasoning. I just need you to cook it properly and make sure it's actually chicken. That's probably the biggest piece that nobody wants to talk about, but I think it was chicken. That deployed meat, I think that was chicken. The jury's still out, you understand? So defects are quality in the Air Force, but there are definitely a lot of bad eggs that we have to get rid of, you understand? We have to get rid of them. They gotta go. Good question. Have I ever considered being a drill sergeant? Yes. Yes and no. I'm not sure I'll be a good drill sergeant, mainly because I don't, as stoic as I tend to be, I don't raise my voice, which I'm not sure that's a. I don't think that requirement is absolute in nature, where you have to yell at people. But if I did, I'm not sure how it would sound, because I yell at people all the time. If I'm on a basketball court and you miss my layup, you mess up my assist, you're gonna hear from me. But I'll probably be smiling when I do it. Whereas in the basic training, I don't think you're supposed to smile. I'm not sure. It's an interesting job. My third or fourth supervisor is currently MTI currently at Lackland, and so I have to talk to her, see how she likes it, because I feel like she's built for it. She's built to be an MTI. I don't think I am. I might be a better MTL, military training leader, as opposed to military training instructor. I think I'll make a better MTL because I just prefer that teaching side versus the taking people's life. So we'll see. I'm not against trying anything for the most part. I wouldn't mind going down there just taking lives. You understand? Just, hey, this is dusty hospital corner. What you thought? This, I might hand somebody L once or twice. So we'll see. Have you heard how Spangalum is as a base living in Germany? Spangalum is the promised land when it comes to finance personnel, because we don't want to go to Ramstein. We want to go to Spangalum. It's in Germany. I think it's like an hour some change away from Ramstein, except it's not a major hub like Ramstein is. At Ramstein, finance works, I believe, shift work, like 12-hour shifts. And for those of you who are watching who are active duty, who are probably in the AFSC that actually works 12s, maybe security forces or something, or aircraft maintenance, might be normal for you. But for finance, if I work more than 8 hours, I'm upset. If I work more than 6 hours consistently, I'm on 10. Like my lunch calculated into this. We got PT this day. I still worked 8 hours today. How is that possible? So yeah, Spangalum is the promised land as it relates to living in Germany, but not having the pace and the frequent, like the traffic coming through your base, like Ramstein. Ramstein is a major hub in Europe, and so Spangalum is also in Europe. It's also in Germany, except it's just not as busy. I'm not sure exactly the specifics of the goings on there. I know a couple of people scattered around the area, but yeah, hopefully I can get a chance to get out there. Who knows? But yeah, if I ever get a chance, you guys will definitely know, because I'll be posting vlogs every 2 minutes. By the way, I plan on catching on my vlogs. I'll show y'all. This is my 8 terabyte hard drive of vlogs. It's almost full, and so at some point I'll get back to editing. Live streaming is just so much more convenient, but vlogs is where my heart is in terms of my creative side. So we'll get back to that. Good question though. Zero asks, what are your thoughts of going through ROTC without being prior enlisted? I'm not sure. I don't have context of either. I've always been enlisted, and I've never gone to ROTC, so I'm not sure I'm qualified to answer this question. Yeah, I'm not sure I'm qualified to answer that question, unfortunately. James asks, what are my favorite sports teams? I think this is an appropriate time to announce my NFL team. So, first of all, I'm 1-0 in fantasy football. So, if you guys don't come for me. Sorry, Neil. He took a L. It was just bad. His last chance to even make it close was Lamar Jackson yesterday. And no. So, yeah. Anyway, before I go on that tangent, Lakers, obviously. Kobe Lakers. Just because Russ came to my Lakers doesn't mean LeBron gets a pass. Kobe Lakers. And then my NFL team, I believe I'm going to choose the Patriots. There's something about prestige that intrigues me to my core. This bottle. It's plastic. It's uneventful, but it's beautiful. Voss represents a $2 or $3 bottle of water. The water is water. It tastes like tap, but the brand is prestigious. Apple, they sell to idiots. Hey, you know that iPhone we sold y'all last year? This new one has improved battery and lighting. And that's it. $1,000. Come on. Run it. The Apple brand is prestige. If you go to a coffee shop, you see a Dell logo on the back of somebody's laptop, you're like, bro, are you broke? Are you in poverty? Because prestige matters. You know, if you see a millionaire driving a Toyota, you're going to ask, why are you driving Toyota? They could drive a baseline Mercedes and nobody will bat an eye. But to drive a Tesla means, oh, you're different. You're up here, aren't you? Prestige matters in this world. Patriots are a prestigious organization. They have a history of winning. Belichick, he's different. His mind, a defensive-minded coach. He does the small things right. He can put any quarterback in his system, and they will be successful. They may not win Super Bowl, but their team will be successful. Mac Jones is probably going to have a great year this year. I just missed him in fantasy. I was trying to pick him up as a backup, but yeah, Lakers and Patriots are my two teams. I'm just now announcing my NFL team right now. You guys heard it first here, Patriots. I love the cheating, the scandal, the hate. I love the region of the world that they live in, you know, the northeast part of the country. Baseball, I don't have a team. I've mentioned previously that baseball is not a sport. Y'all be nice to me. Along with swimming, it's not a sport. It's just all this fluff that we just throw into to try to make things entertaining. If I were to pick I'd probably say the Yankees my team, just because I got New York history. Yeah, we go with the Yankees being my baseball team. Rugby, I'll have to go with the All Blacks. Shout out to New Zealand. Who else we got out there? Manchester United for football. Alabama is my college football team. Kentucky is my college basketball team. Who else we got? I feel like that's all the big sports. But yeah, those are my sports teams. I'm pretty loyal. I'm a Lakers fan to death. LeBron or not, Lakers fan to death. The other teams, I'll have to build that loyalty up because it's been a while since I focused on anything besides basketball. It's about really my first year really kind of diving into NFL and really kind of studying it. So yeah, well, we'll see. Good question. Joey asks, how are you? I'm well. I'm grateful for you asking. Thank you. Thanks for asking. The red bone enthusiast. Do you know anything about the Coast Guard? If so, what do junior officers do? If not, what do junior officers do in the Air Force? Don't know much about the Coast Guard outside of they are under the Department of Homeland Security, and only during times of war do they fall under the Department of Defense. They do what the Navy doesn't do, which is guard the homeland essentially. They guard the coast, parts of the water, regions, areas. They patrol for the cartel, things like that. Many different missions as it relates to what they're currently doing on the water. But to simplify the most is they guard America. And in some cases, in the air, they have helicopters, but it's more so used for search and rescue. And these are not attack aircraft that the Coast Guard has. There is no comparison between the Coast Guard and the military branches when it comes to aircraft. But yeah, they are different, and they do have an important role to play as it relates to time in war times. But in most other cases, they are patrolling the waters to ensure that Americans we are able to retain our rights and our liberties. So it's different. What else we got? Wadna, it's been a minute, man. How you been? Shalom. What career do you see yourself doing after you leave the Air Force if you don't retire fully? That's a good question. If I weren't able to do YouTube full time, I would probably go work in a beautiful environment, such as a high-end casino, high-end hotel. I honestly don't know. But YouTube will be ultimately the goal to do full-time YouTube. I've made a lot of peace with the fact that if I didn't do 20 years in the Air Force, I'll have to figure out something, especially being someone who doesn't have a degree, doesn't want a degree, doesn't want to go to school, doesn't want to engage in the art of writing papers. And, I'm not interested in any of that foolishness, but I understand the gravity of not having a degree in today's job market, where it's saturated with degrees. You almost have to have a major trade or a skill set that allows you to penetrate the market. I have several. That's not really the point. I could work for the federal government using my same skill set I have currently. I would honestly, the job that would call me the quickest would be driving, public transportation, getting my CDL back because the junk expired when I was in basic training. But yeah, I'll probably be driving a school bus, something like that. I do miss driving, the ability to move around and you're not staying in one place. And I just got my headphones on, just zoned out. Yeah, I'll probably go back to driving a school bus, honestly. But hopefully it doesn't come to that. Hopefully I can find, I'm in the cross training process currently. So hopefully this continues to go smoothly the way it is. And we don't have to address that question, but who knows? But my ultimate goal would, if I did leave the military before I retired, I'll be doing YouTube or doing some type of speaking, full time. So we'll see how that goes. Good question. I'm gonna skip some of the questions that I've answered from former people already. Should I get some more people in here? Augustine, Arbo, what has been your experience with non-citizen enlisted members? I know a lot. Surprisingly, a lot of people that are not citizens, but yet are serving currently, with or without security clearance. Has been normal. It's been normal. Hasn't been anything crazy or exciting. It's just been normal. You find out later, oh yeah, you're not a citizen. Cool. But yeah, it's never been a major event. Good question. Might be still in for maybe another 10, 15 minutes. We'll see. Joey Michael says, I'm planning on enlisting to the Air Force. I want to work in journalism, television, communications. What score should I get on the ASVAB test to get those jobs? Thanks. I will never tell you to shoot for a specific score, that is not the highest score. Never will I ever advise you to, all right, if you for that job you need a 50, aim for a 50. I will never tell you to do that. Why? Because you probably get a 40 by doing so. You should aim for the highest score to unlock the most jobs, so you can just at least have that as an option. If you get 100, you unlock every job under 100. If you get a 50 and that job's not available, well, you just lost out on any job above a 50. Aim to ace the test. It's not pass or fail, but you can fail it. So the point is not to pass or fail. The point is to unlock as many jobs as possible. So when you go to list your jobs, you have options, which is the whole point. So, yeah, journalism, television communications, great career field. I know a lot of people in it. I've even considered it's on the retraining advisory currently. I even thought about myself going into it, but they use DSLRs, and I'm too busy for all that. You understand? I use mirrorless, and so I don't have time to be chimping and using range finders and like no. I use mirrorless cameras. So, but yeah, aim to unlock as many jobs as possible. Do not shoot for the middle. Don't shoot for the bottom. Don't shoot for specific jobs. Aim for the top. You'll land somewhere right below it, and then you realize you have way more options than you thought you had. Hope that helps. Raf says, I just went to Maps and everything checked out, except for I need an eye consult for stigmatism. And was just wondering if you know anyone or you yourself has gone through this. I do not. Something about, and I mean, honestly, this is quite common knowledge, but I guess it has to be made known. When it comes to specific medical cases, there's really not a lot of information outside of what people share themselves just because of the privacy issue. All I know is what I suffer with or what I've gone through in terms of health issues. To know about other people's stuff is quite difficult unless they tell you, which there's really not a reason to like go around just telling people your medical history. But I'm sure someone has made it through it. Reddit might be a great resource to you. Yeah, best of luck to you, man. Appreciate you, Armando. Appreciate you. A lot of y'all in here tonight. I promise y'all, I'm gonna probably be more consistent. Things happen, and you start putting things on the back burner, and then at some point you put everything on the back burner, and you realize, all right, everything that I thought was important is not that important in comparison to what I think is important now. And life goes on. But at no point will I forget about YouTube, because YouTube is where my heart's at. I enjoy doing this. I enjoy Q&As and creating content. So we'll definitely be back up here making more moves, you understand. Sam Anderson, did I re-enlist? No, I did not. At some point in the future, I'll probably be extending. Just for the ability to cross-train, I'll probably have to extend. But yeah, I'm in my last year of my contract, which I never thought I'd be saying that actually, which is it's different. I'm in my last year of my first contract. So yeah, at some point I either have to extend or re-enlist, or we'll see what MPF has to say about it. But yeah, we're focusing on cross training, and then once we get to the door of, all right, you don't got enough retainability, go ahead and sign that paper. We'll address that. Now, of course, I'll bring it up here to share more on that. Who else is down here? Stone asks, have you ever been approached about being a recruiter because of your social media? I have not. Yeah, it hasn't happened. I've been approached by people, subscribers and what have you. I met one the other day at the defect. Shout out, what was his name? I'm sorry if I forgot your name. Start with a K. But yeah, he showed me a lot of love just in regards to the services career field, and kind of explaining that he watched one of the streams, saw that I was considering cross-training into it. So So yeah, I meet subscribers all the time. I don't run into opportunities such as recruiting. Not that I would want to do it per se. I'm not against it either. It just never came up. So yeah, interesting question. I'm 28 and I'm leaving for BMT in a month. I've never been a very social person. Any wisdom to being more open to friendships, relationships, and not being so closed off, being scared of vulnerability? The environment is going to beat it out of you one way or another. Not so much that you'll be social at the end of it, but you'll have information at the end of it, either about yourself or about people around you. If you're not a social person in terms of being an extrovert, the easiest way to network while being introverted, and I have a ton of videos on being introverted and networking and how to get out of the shell, ways to begin the process of networking, is to ask questions. It's questions. It's way easier to listen than to speak. It's a lot easier. If you ask someone a question and let them talk, all you have to do is listen. Your job is easy. Of course, it starts with a question. The most common question is you can get out the way. How are you? What's good? Where are you from? What's your job? How long you been here? Just the basic questions. You can get those out the way, and then when they start talking, you it's called active listening, and you just wait for keywords. You wait for certain tangents that could arise, and they say, well, yeah, I just dropped my truck off at the shop, and then I came here. And he said, what kind of truck you drive? And you guys might connect on the love of cars, and that might be all you need to form a relationship on, is that you have a commonality on cars. But the only way to get there is to ask questions. So yeah, once you realize the value of people, you realize all I have to do is ask them questions and listen. You realize information is so much, it's abundant in terms of the people walking around you, all these grown adults, all these experiences, all here for different reasons, and probably all different career fields. You realize I have to ask questions. That's it. Just be curious, and you realize the anxiety that you might have about being social, or you might be an introvert, and you might not want to be around people, might not want to talk to people. You realize, all right, I need to talk to people because people are the currency. And so by simply, you're going to have to get outside of yourself. You will have to get outside of yourself and say, all right, I feel this way. I don't want to do these things. But if my goal is over here, it requires these actions. I'm saying the easiest way to get where you're trying to go is probably just simply asking questions, being curious about someone else. And you realize it'll open a lot more doors than if you wait for somebody to come up to you and ask you questions. It's probably not going to happen. So be that person that just asks. If somebody's sitting next to you, there should be no one that sits within 2 or 3 feet of you that you don't interact with and say, yo, what's good? Where you from? Who your people is? Just basic questions and then active listening. You realize you're going to build a network so much quicker than the average person who's just waiting to be approached. So hope that helps. Check out my channel for I have so many videos on introversion. It's not a life sentence. It's not a life sentence. What else we got? Christopher Thompson asks, how many months did it take you to join the Air Force? I'm joining the Navy, and so far it's taken me 6 months. They keep asking for redundant paperwork. It took me close to a year or some change. It's not a quick process. You'll notice that very quickly. In the Air Force, nothing is quick here. In the military as a whole, we're kind of outdated in terms of our support systems. Our planes, 5th generation, 6th generation, just the latest gear that Lockheed Martin and Boeing can offer. And then you'll notice we're sending faxes. We're sending faxes in 2021. Going into 2022, the United States Air Force, the world's most powerful Air Force objectively, is sending faxes in 2021. That's the system that you're joining in, is that every piece of the Air Force is not up to date. You'll see first sergeants walking around with iPhone 4s. What are you doing? They're in a system. They can't just update. They can't upgrade like we can as civilians, or as a civilian can. There are rules. Oh, I'm sorry. You have to have the S3 Galaxy. No. So, patience. Right now, your motives are being purified by your need to wait. Also, you're gonna realize very quickly that it's not up to you. The process takes as long as it takes. It takes 21 years to become 21 years old. If you're not willing to wait 21 years old or 21 years, what are you going to do? Who's going to bully time and make it shorter? That's the price. So stay busy, stay prepared, stay ready, but enjoy your time. Enjoy this time of waiting. It's a luxury. It's a luxury to be bored. It's a luxury to be bored. Once you join the military, you realize a day that is kind of slow, there's nothing really on fire, nothing really to do. That's a luxury. That's a good day. That's a good day. So yeah, be patient. Be patient. This is where you practice it now, because there's just gonna be more to follow. There's more patience to follow than your current moment. So stay ready, stay motivated, stay out of trouble, get somewhere and sit down, binge watch something, but don't let your curiosity and your boredom ruin your future. You see it happen constantly. People that are bored and they're in your current same situation. Yo, we need your birth certificate. I just sent that last week. We need your birth certificate. And you get bored and you get curious and you get tired, you get exhausted and you get unmotivated and you realize things start well, I'll just go do that then. I'll go hang with them. I'll call her. I'll call him. And you wake up in a situation that kind of derails your plans because you got impatient and you lost focus. Stay ready, and enjoy this time. Enjoy this time with friends and family. Enjoy this time of waiting. There's a lot you can do with waiting. I'm not sure what Melrose you're referring to, but I don't think I have. Zord asks, what do you think about a man joining the Air Force as personnel? Heard it was a female-dominated career field. I'm like one of the few straight males interested in HR work. So the obvious, it's not. I would call it down the middle, 50-50, more or less. Paper pushing is probably going to be the most co-ed environment that you will witness, and especially in the military context. I work in finance. It's both male and female, pretty equally. Personnel's about the same. Admin's about the same. Med group is heavily female dominated. Flight line, you'll see mostly male, although there will be women sprinkled in there because they really have a choice. Security forces will probably be evenly balanced, even though it'll probably be heavily male. Percentage-wise, females don't make up 50% of the military. They're probably less than 50%. Well, they definitely are. Whereas men obviously take over, more than half. Choose a career field you like. Choose a career field you like, if you can. Because obviously there's 3 ways that a career field is assigned to you. It needs the Air Force, a job you qualify for, jobs you want. So, if you have interest in paper pushing, go for it. Go for it. Don't let statistics, discourage you because there's more female than male in a given career field. If you like that career field, you're going to be happy either way. So it really doesn't matter who's around you. I would really focus on trying to get the job you want because there are a lot of people that are just being, hey, we got security forces, we got aircraft maintenance, what you want? And they're choosing from some horrible options. So don't overthink it. Don't overthink it. See, as a black man, have you ever been called articulate? Too many times to count. Too many times to count. It's unbelievable, but it's necessary. There are worse things to be called. There are much worse things to be called. We have some disrespect in the chat. We got some disrespect. Ian, see. Yeah, we can't have that. Cowboys fan? No. I follow winning organizations. Winning organizations only. I have so many videos on college degrees. I'm not gonna make another one, but yeah, just type in college education, college degrees, and my name, and you should get at least 5 results of my opinion on those. They're not all bad, not all good. It's just wisdom is the point. You understand? Yeah, Coda Air Base in the house. I see you, Isaiah. Was good. You got a little dog in the chat. It's been a minute. Hope you're doing well. Joey, I see you. Appreciate you. Appreciate you. Veghead, do you see a lot of members going broke because of car loans? Not so much going broke, but treading water is probably the main tendency you'll witness. The towns surrounding military bases, they understand exactly what they're doing and who they're targeting. The youngins coming out them dorms or still living in dorms, most people know, and it's easily accessible, the information about how much people in the military make. You can look up anybody, as long as you know their rank, dependency status, you can almost to the penny tell exactly how much they make or how much they're supposed to be making. And then based off that, you see that person come to your door, I'm trying to rent a room. They say, we're going to need your BH. Bring your LES. Come on. Because it's their business to know. Car lots do the same thing. They see an 18-year-old, hey, you like Mustangs, don't you? We got a 1965 Mustang with a 350 in it. We need $1,000 down payment, $500 a month, 18% interest. Just sign right there is yours. And the 18, this will go great with my Xbox. Just sign right there. No, it's been going on for years. Is it bad? Is it wrong? There's plenty of laws, that are supposed to protect the military as far as percentage rates and what have you. But yet, most people don't read the fine print. That's the issue. Most people will not read the fine print, and they get caught up in the fluff, and the speed, and the impatience, and they say, "It's shiny. I gotta have it." Get caught lacking. So, it's a quick trap to fall into. Debt is proof of impatience. Debt is proof. It's evidence of impatience. If you want something now and it costs more, but if you wait, it costs less, most people are going to choose the instant gratification. I can't wait 2 weeks. I got to have the new iPhone. I got to have this. And I'm willing to pay top prices. If you wait 1 year, it's going to be cheap. The iPhone 12, it's on sale already. All these deals and trade-ins, and it's on sale already. Most people... I'll pay $100 more for the. I'll pay $500 extra. I'll pay 3%, interest rate percentages, whatever, so I can have it now, and they'll pay over time. But nobody wants to do the math on that. So, it's imperative that people read fine print, read documents, read the contract. But it requires discipline, patience. Good question. The doggy might be going to still become a load master. I'm not sure it's going to happen. I'm not sure, honestly, but time will tell. We'll see. Why are you using faxes in Japan? Nobody should be using fax machines in 2021. No one. I forbid it. No one should be using fax machines. It's absolutely ridiculous. One last question, and we'll call it a night. Hey, Raymond, what's a good job with a good quality of life? It's a very vague question, but I would say you should be aiming for jobs that have predictable work schedules. Ask yourself the most objective, most general question. Which job works 9 to 5? Which job works 7:30 to 4:30? Which job is off on weekends? Which job is off on federal holidays? They're not mission essential. Those jobs have the best work-life balance. If you have children, you're going to want a desk job. You're going to want a job as far away from the flight line as possible. If you want to be off on holidays, off on weekends, be able to take appointments during the week, go to PTA meetings, go pick your kids from school, from daycare if they're sick or something, you're going to want a desk job. Personnel, admin, finance, medical admin positions, CSS, which, you're going to be you're going to move away from the gate, not security forces, away from the flight line, not fixing anything that needs to fly. Anything close to the flight line is going to be mission essential, most likely. That's the most general sense that you want to approach that question with is you want a 9 to 5 job because that's going to allow you the most balance in terms of getting off at a particular time, most days a week, 5 days a week, with weekends off, which will allow you to spend more time with your family, what have you. I got to go. I loved this live stream, kind of getting back in the saddle. I missed this. But we'll definitely try to do it more often. Try be more consistent with it. But I will be in touch with y'all. I appreciate y'all watching. Thanks for your support, and